Hey there, my fellow designers and creatives. Hope you're all doing well. This is Chetan here from Design Pathfinder, and I'm back again today with a very new, exciting tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to learn to create a beautiful PSP in Illustrator and Photoshop. We're going to build out the structure in Illustrator and then do the color stuff and nice shadows and all the other fun stuff in Photoshop. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So without any further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so here I am on Dribbble and I came across this this PSP on Dribbble by Gustavo Zambelli, and I thought it was pretty cool. Let's take a look at it in the zoom version. It looks pretty crisp. It's got this nice noise, you've got nice shading, some nice shadow on the buttons. It looks pretty cool. So we're gonna do this entire thing from scratch. It's gonna be a pretty long tutorial because there's a lot to do. So I hope you guys sit back and enjoy the video. Alright, so I'm gonna go to File and click on New. And I'm gonna choose a 1920 by 1080, but you can choose whatever resolution you want, but make sure it's HD. And then I'm actually gonna go ahead and pick up this, screenshot that I got. So I'm just gonna copy that and I'm gonna paste that here, and then I'm just gonna lock this so that we can't do anything to it. And I'm gonna go ahead and create a new layer, and then we're gonna do all the fun stuff on that. Right, so the first thing is I'm gonna press Ctrl R to get my rulers, and I'm gonna go ahead, hold down Shift on your keyboard so it snaps, and we're gonna snap it right at the center, which I'm guessing is this. All right, yeah. To verify that, we can actually just create a quick rectangle, come to this edge, and all right, and then let's check it out, and yeah, it's perfect. All right, so we're gonna use the same rectangle actually, and I'm gonna move this up over here so we can see it aligning. And you can obviously get the reference image by just right clicking and choosing save images. From here I'm going to put a link in the description for this. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring this down like so. Pretty good. Now I'm going to press Shift X, or this button, which is going to swap the fill and the stroke. So this is what we get. Pretty good. And I'm actually going to go ahead and change the color of this to, I don't know, blue, I guess. Sorry, let's actually go for red or pink so we can see it better. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to leave it like so. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab a circle, so an ellipse actually. And let's just create a big fat circle. Hold down Shift so it scales proportionately. And once we have this, let's see if it kind of matches. All right, so we need to make it a bit bigger, or actually a bit smaller, I guess. And yeah, I think this is fitting perfectly. And yeah, that's looking pretty good. Make sure that this is in the center, aligned. Okay, yeah, it is in the center. Pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of this. I'm going to press Shift X to make sure that they are filled. And I'm going to use the Shape Builder tool. So this is the Shape Builder tool. Shift M is the shortcut. Click on it. And with these two objects selected, you need to hold on Alt or Option on your keyboard. And then you can click once to get rid of that section, and click here to get rid of this section, and then click here to get rid of this section. Pretty good. And then what we can do is, with these two objects selected again, press Shift M and then just draw over here so that everything becomes one single object. As you can see, we have one single object. Pretty good. Press Shift X again to reverse it, and now we're going to add some corner radius. So I'm going to select this. Sorry, make sure you're in the direct selection tool. So you can come over here and pick the direct selection tool. Select this anchor point, hold down Shift, select this anchor point, and we're going to go ahead and create some roundness. Like so. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good as well. Awesome. All right, so then we can press Shift X to reverse this again, and we are going to make a copy by holding down Alt. So when you hold down Alt, you get this double cursor. You click, hold down Shift, and you drag, so you make a copy. And then we can rotate it. Press Ctrl R to get rid of the rulers again. And I'm going to rotate this. All right. And we're going to move it over to this side, and let's zoom in pretty close over here so that we intersect these two. And yes, select these two and then press Shift M to get the Shape Builder tool, and then just draw a line across, merging these both, and we should have one single object, which we do. Awesome. All right, so let's just go and press Ctrl Z to put it back in place. Press Ctrl X to, see on that. So now let's go ahead and start outlining all these stuff. So the first one, we're going to start off with the circle. We got the ellipse, and just go ahead, Shift X, and place it like so. I think, maybe is it a bit more? And then we need to make this small circle. So hold down Shift and Alt to make a copy. Press Shift X to reverse it, and then this one has to be pretty small. So let's put it over here, and scale it up like so. All right, that is looking pretty good. And we need this rectangular cubicle thing. So let's go ahead and grab a rounded rectangle tool, and then just go ahead and round this off. If you go to the properties panel, we can somewhere check the, all right, okay, anyway, we can just use these circles, all right? And I think there should be, the roundness here. Oh, yeah, corner, there you go. So let's set this to like 8. It defaults to 6, that's pretty good, okay? The next one is these two tiny small circles. So hold down Shift and Alt, make a copy, and we can make this one pretty small. Put this up right over here. Hold down Shift and Alt, and go here. You can actually hold down only Alt. You want to hold down Shift when you're moving it in the same direction. So yeah, and we're gonna make this part now. So this is gonna be pretty interesting. So let's just press P on our keyboard to get the pen tool, and I'm gonna click over here once, and click over here once, and then click over here once, and then just close it up. All right, there we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, press Shift X. So we have, both of these overlapping. And I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to come to the Pathfinder. So you can go to Window and then choose Pathfinder. And I'm going to click on this option that says Divide. And I'm going to click on that. And what that's going to do is that's going to cut off every part that is intersecting. So what I mean to say is if I press Ctrl Shift G or right click and choose Ungroup, we can delete this, and then we have this separate part and this separate part. Now, as you can see, we do have some kind of an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this by holding on Alt, and this is going to be a separate copy. Let's actually go ahead and change the color of this. All right, so basically I have, so I need to make a copy by pressing Ctrl C and Ctrl F. I have 2 copies, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of it, probably set this to a darker green color, and I'm going to move this up like so, and I'm going to select these two and then just merge them together with the shape builder tool, because we want this to be the original shape. So shape builder tool, and then just draw it. We want it to be original shape, and this one we're going to bring it down like so. All right, so this is what we want. Pretty good. Let's press Ctrl X, and yeah, I think that should be pretty good. Yeah, and now we can press A and select this, only this anchor point, and then select the circle, and then just move that in so it moves in. All right, cool. You can actually take this and, let's actually press Ctrl Z. All right, and then take this and then move this over here, and then we can take this and bring it down like so. All right, I guess we need to bring it a little bit more inside. So okay, and this one needs to be a bit inside like so, and then just tweak around a little bit till we get it perfect. And then, yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Alrighty, the next one is this section. We can just copy that and paste it in Photoshop, so we don't have to worry about that. But we just want this part. So I'm going to press P on my keyboard, and I'm going to click over here, hold down Shift, click here, and hold down Shift, click here, here, and then here, and then I'm going to press A, select this anchor point, and probably move this a little bit to the left. Press Ctrl X, and I'm going to select this anchor point, and then just drag this handle like so, and this one like so, this one like so, and this one a little bit like so. Yeah, that should do it. Pretty good. The next one is going to be the square or the screen, so let's select it. And we can just create a box like so. All right, and we can align this to the center. There we go. And this is going to give it a little bit of a radius. So The corners, I'm guessing, all right, yeah, we could just use this, but then there would have to be a property somewhere. But anyway, let's go ahead and give this like 4 pixels of rounding. And then I'm going to select this, hold on Alt and Shift, and then drag it over to this side. Place that over there. All right, yep, and pretty good. Okay, we need to make these buttons. So let's quickly do that. So I'm going to press P on my keyboard, and let's actually get the rectangular tool. And this should be fairly easier. And I'm going to go ahead and create a rectangle like so. All right, and then I'm going to press P on my keyboard, and I'm going to come over here, and in the center I'm going to click to add a anchor point, and then I'm going to press A, and then select this, hold down Shift, and I'm going to bring it down, make it extend it a bit. All right, and then I'm going to press P again and make one anchor point over here, and yeah, and I'm going to do is I'm going to press A, and there we go, something like that. All right, and the one at the top. All right, so I'm going to select these two, and then I'm going to bring them down like so, and then all right, and this I'm just going to taper this off like fully like so, and then select the ones at the corner, and then taper those off. But I think we got to taper these two first. Yeah, and then we can taper this. Right, and yeah, I think that should be a pretty decent. Yeah, we can even actually go ahead and make the triangles, which are the arrows, or just quickly make one. All right, yep, that should be good. We can copy and paste that later. All right, so we're done with this one. The Sony logo, we're gonna get that from the internet, so no need to worry about that. All right, we need these ones here, so let's go ahead and grab the rounded rectangle tool, and then let's go ahead and create a rounded rectangle, move it up a bit, and yeah, let's try to be as precise as we can, but of course you don't have to be fully precise. Yep, there we go. Let's move these around, hold down Shift and Alt, and we need to shrink this down, shrink and shrink and shrink this. All right, let's make a copy, move this over to this side. Let's make a copy and move this over. This needs to be completely small, so like so, and yeah, that's pretty good. We're gonna come to the PSP a bit later. But for now, we can just select these three, 1, 2, 3, hold down Shift and Alt, and then drag them over to this side. Okay, we want one over here, and we want one over here. All right, and we want another one over here. All right, it's looking pretty good. We can copy this circle, hold down Shift and Alt, and move it over to this side. But this one, of course, needs to be much smaller. So let's shrink that down. All right. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Then we need 4 circles over here. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a ellipse tool. Hold down Shift, and we can create a big circle like so. All right. Maybe a bit bigger. All right, okay. And make a copy by holding down Shift and Alt. Drag this down, and then let's hold down this, hold down Shift, select these both, press Ctrl C, Ctrl F to make a copy, and then we can just rotate it like so, so that they're perfect. Let's actually go ahead and make these as well. So we can go and grab the pen tool. Let's just go create a line like so, press Escape to create a new line, and then here, I guess that should do it. Let's make ourselves a nice tiny small rectangle. We need a circle over here, so yeah, the ellipse tool. All right, there we go, we have a circle, and now we need a triangle. So let's go to the polygon tool, just click once, and you can set the sides to 3 and radius to 10, and we can move this up. Maybe we can make it a bit bigger. All right, yeah, that should be pretty good enough. We can tweak all of this later. So yeah, and we can need to copy these two and move this over to the side. So hold down Shift and Alt and move this over. This one over here, and this one comes over here. All right. Are we missing anything else? All right, let's do the PSP one. So just grab the pen tool and then click, hold down Shift. All right, click, and this one press Ctrl X to make that into a stroke. And then let's make a copy of this and drag it over to this side. And now we need to make one over here for the S. And yeah, I think that should be pretty good. All right. The last one on the list is this big fat circle in the center. So let's do that as well. So let's grab ourselves a big ellipse. All right. I think this should do it. Let's check it out. All right. Yeah, that was pretty good. First shot. Awesome. Let's center this. And yeah. So now that we have all the elements set, we can now prepare this into a Photoshop file to export it into Photoshop. So let's see how to do that. Now, one thing you want to make note is that everything has to be non-stroke. So basically what I want you to do is select everything, all the ones, and you want to go to the stroke, set that to none. And this is one we want to set to a color. So basically everything has to be one single color. All right. I mean, it has to have a fill. It doesn't need to have any stroke. And then we go to the layers panel, and as you can see, everything is on one layer. So we basically need to split everything into separate layers. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have this layer selected. Come here to this menu and then choose release layers to sequence. And that's going to break up every element into a single sequence. Not quite sure what this is though. We can actually delete this. Yeah. And we can select all these layers and then just take it and drag it outside. So each of these layers are outside. As you can see, we can delete this layer and we have this lock layer. So this is pretty much how it's going to look. And then we need to go to File and then choose Export and then choose Export As. And over here, we need to choose a Photoshop. Since we have only one artboard, this doesn't matter. So I'm just going to call it PSP Tutorial. And you're going to click on Export and you're going to get a dialog box with some information. Like so, and we can set the resolution to 72 ppi. We don't have to set it to 300 because in Photoshop we're going to make that to 72, not 300. We have all these turned on. Make sure you don't check on flat image. You want it to right layers with maximum editability, and I think we should click on OK, and we should be good to go. Alright guys, so here I'm in Photoshop and this is my original one that I created. I'm going to be moving back and forth so I can pick up the colors and the layer styles and give you the exact settings. It's going to be pretty interesting. And as you can see, I pretty much came close to everything and I'm really excited about it. So let's go back and move this to the first. And this is what you get when you open up your, Photoshop document. I'm going to go to the image and set this to, go to the canvas size and I'm going to set this to 1920 by 1080 and click on OK. So we have, just like that, and I'm going to come to the bottom. Let's create and then just a white color and just fill that up. We can actually hide this. We don't need that for now. And now let's do the fun stuff. All right, so let's go start off with the back circle. So let's open up the group. And yeah, there we go. We have a circle. So I've got some layer styles over here. So just open that up. All right. So yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's see what color this is. So I'm just going to go and pick up the color, press I, and we have a color. So 2580 D1. So copy that. Come over here and let's choose this one. Now, since there are a lot of layers, and it's difficult to find out which one is what, you can go and choose the move tool and then you can choose auto select, which means wherever you are, irrespective of which layer you're on, wherever you click, it's going to pick up that layer on the canvas. So I'm just going to click over here and as you can see, it's automatically selected that layer for me. And I'm going to go and choose color overlay. And let's go ahead and set this to that color, press enter. Okay, now I want to apply some layer styles to the blue circle. So I'm going to go ahead and rasterize this layer first. So now we have only this blue circle And then I'm going to copy this gradient overlay settings, which I will obviously show you guys. So copy and then choose paste. So we've got this nice gradient, so let me show you what this is. So it's a simple blend mode set to overlay with an opacity set to 40, and the gradient is from black to white. So black to white with both at 100% opacity, as you can see over here. And angle 48, you can change the angle whatever you want to. Scale is 100 and the style is linear. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just call this circle, and we can move this right to the bottom of the entire thing. And yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so the next one is let's check it out. What it's going to be. Let's actually do the small stuff. So these circles and the stroke and all that stuff. Let's start off from the left side actually. So let's go ahead and grab the Sony logo first. You can get the Sony logo from the internet. Just type Sony logo PNG, and we can copy that and we can paste it over here. Let's move it up right to the top because it stays on the top. Let's actually change the background of this a bit. So if I select this, all right, we have a couple of gradient overlays. So let's just copy layer style, and then let's select this and then choose paste layer style. All right, so let's check it out what this is. And this is going to call base. All right, so we have two gradient overlays. So the first one is this, which is basically a color from blue, and that is B2E4FE. And the second one goes up to D6E5FF, which is almost a white, but it has a tiny shade of blue. All right, and then you want to make sure that it's angled from coming from top to bottom, and also the gradient overlay, the same one that I showed you earlier, overlay, opacity 40, and a black to white overlay. And yeah, make sure that this is on top and the blue one is at the bottom. Click on OK. Now, if you don't have the latest version of Photoshop, what you can do is you can rasterize the layer after you apply this gradient, and then you can go ahead and apply this gradient separately, just like the way I did for the circle. Right? Yeah. So this is the base, and we can go ahead and bring this down to the bottom right, of course. And let's go and grab the Sony logo that we had, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this off so I can move it, and we're going to place it somewhere over here. And yeah, that should be pretty good. All right, so the next one is the circle that we need. So I think the circle has some kind of color. So yeah, it's got a stroke. So let me just actually copy this, copy layer style, and then come over here and then select, and then let's call this left joystick, and then paste layer style, and obviously we get a stroke. So select this, and it's a 3 pixel stroke, and the opacity was set to 10%, and then we have a 4F637B. I'm gonna move this over so you guys can see it. Stroke, click on OK, and OK. All right, the next is the circles. So I think let's actually see what the color code is. Okay, it's 556B85. So copy that, come over here, and let's actually select this one for starters. All right, and then let's actually just go ahead and add in a color overlay. We gotta add a color overlay with this color, that is 556B85. All right, and then we can go ahead and rasterize it if we want. Let's select this one, and let's actually, oh, you know what? All right, we should have actually color overlay, paste. All right, and then we can copy this layer style, select this circle, and then we can choose paste layer style, and then we can go ahead and rasterize this so the color is affected, and set the opacity of this to 50. All right, so that it's a bit lighter. The next one is we're going to do the left trackpad thingy. So let's select that, and we need to add in a color. So let's actually go ahead, and I'm going to turn off all the effects so we can just pick up the color. And this color is 34A4F1. So copy that, come over here. Let's select this one, and then we can call this left circle trackpad. Okay, I'm just going to call it left circle. I have no idea. what it is. And let's go ahead, choose a color overlay, and then paste that, and done. You can go ahead and rasterize it so it gets affected with that color. And then we are going to go and copy all these effects. We're going to take a look at them one by one. So copy layer style, and then choose paste layer style. All right, and let's check it out. So on top, I have the bevel and emboss with the style set to inner bevel, technique set to smooth, depth set to 10%, size 1, soften 3. I consider probably soften to 2. All right, and and 90-30 light, screen 50, shadow mode opacity set that to 10. All right, yeah, with a black color, and that should be good. Then we have an inner shadow with an overlay set to 52%, and it's white. Angle set 90, distance 0, choke 0, and the size is set to 2. All right, and then we have a gradient overlay with the black and white overlay gradient that we took a look at the beginning with the blue background circle. The opacity is 35, angle is 35, and scale is 100. And then we have a simple drop shadow with the blend mode set to multiply on a dark blue color dark blue color for the shadow, which is 00 FEA2. Distance is 4, size is 8, and opacity to 30% with an angle set to 90. You can actually change the angle a bit, but it won't matter much. So let's actually set it to 90, and probably reduce the opacity of this to 20%. Yeah, I think that should be pretty good, and click on OK. So there we go. That's what we have. Now we can do this part, which is the actual keys, arrow keys. So let's actually see what it is. Oh yeah, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select it. All right, yeah, so the arrow is gonna be, I think, a white color. I'm not quite sure of the color. Yeah, there is some sort of a change in color. So yeah, it's not pure white. It is E7F0FC. Copy that. Double click to open up the layer styles. Let's choose a color overlay and then just paste that color in. And now for the keys, let's actually see. All right, so I've added a couple of effects. So let's just close that up. So the first thing is I'm going to go ahead and copy this color, which is 89CFFA. Let's come over here and we can select this and then open this up. And then let's choose a color overlay and then, let's just paste it like so. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these two, press Ctrl G to group them. And once you group them, you want to press Ctrl J to make a copy, press Ctrl T, and you can rotate it 90 degrees and then select this one, auto select and bring it down. Hold down Shift. All right. That's pretty much it. And then we can select these two again, press Ctrl J, press Ctrl T, and we can flip them horizontally, and that's pretty much it. And then we can group all these together, and then we can go ahead and add in a layer style. So if I hide the group, we have all these four, and there's a layer style, which we will take a look at. So copy layer style, and then paste layer style. All right, and we can turn all of these on, and yeah, let's check it out. So bevel and emboss, the same settings as the one of the earlier. So you can just copy the settings, and then we have an inner shadow with the size set to 2, opacity 52, and a gradient overlay, the same thing, but this time it's coming at an angle of 35. And then we have a drop shadow, same settings as before. You can just copy the layer styles for this and apply that over here, and I should be good to go. Now, when you come to the gradient overlay, you can actually move this gradient like so. So you can, see the change. But yeah, we're going to do something to fix that. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, I have this extra layer of shine. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, the opacity for this is 100. So the first thing you want to do is make a layer on top of it. Press B to get the brush tool and make sure the color is set to white. And you can press the left square bracket key to reduce the size of the brush, or you can come over here and reduce the size, as you can see, whatever you want, right? And yeah, and then you can just go ahead and tap over here, right? But before we do that, let's actually create a clipping mask. So you can right click and then choose create clipping mask. And as you can see, it gets locked onto that. And all right, so let's create the clipping mask first, and then just come over here and then click once, and that's going to add this kind of a nice shadow. Let's actually Control Z that. Let's make it a bit bigger and apply that, and then we can reduce the opacity of this to like 60%. Yeah, and that should be pretty good. All right, so we're kind of done with the left side. We're going to take off the corner part a little bit later, but for now we can just focus on the other minuscule part. So the first one is I'm going to take the circle that we created. I'm going to copy the layer style, and I'm going to start pasting that over here onto all of this. So that's 1, and paste layer style, that's 2, and this one they're going to paste layer style, that's 3. I think the color is a bit dark, but you know, it doesn't matter that much. So you know what, let's just go and to the stroke and set this to like 50% or 40%. Yeah, 40% is good. And let's set the size of this to like 2. All right, so we can copy this layer style and then just paste it onto the other 2, paste layer style. All right, and we can paste it on this one as well, paste layer style, paste layer style, paste layer style, and then paste layer style. All right, so for this one is going to be exactly this one. So I think I'm going to select this, double click on it, go to the, you know what, let's actually go ahead and paste the layer style here. But this time we can just get rid of the stroke and go to the color overlay. And yeah, it's the same setting. So yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so the next one over here, let's copy this layer style, come over here and then paste layer style for that. And for this one, let's select this, copy. Oh yeah, so we can't do that. So we need to do this manually, paste layer style and paste layer style. But this time we need to set both of these to 50%. Alrighty. So the next one is this. Let's copy this circle, copy layer style, and come to this circle and then choose paste layer style. And this is going to be right joystick, if I'm not wrong. Now let's do the buttons a little bit later, but first I want to finish off the screen, which is pretty interesting. So let's select the screen, and as you can see, there seems to be a gradient. So what I'm going to do is I'm just actually going to copy this all right, actually, you know what? Let's actually not do that. Let's press I to get the eyedropper tool. So let's pick up this color, which is 5B7589. Copy that. Come to this. Oops, sorry. Press V, select it. Yeah. You can go ahead and add in a gradient overlay and set this to normal. All right, so the first one is going to be this color. Okay. Let's check out what the second color is. So press I and let's come over here. This is a darker color. So 303 B46. You can open up the gradient overlay again, and this one is going to be this color, right? And now we have to change the angle. So like so, and then reverse this. All right, here we go. That's looking up pretty good. Now we also have to add an inner shadow. The reason we need to do that is we want to set this to normal. Let's set this to, I don't know, like a dark gray. And then we need to increase up the opacity to probably 80%, and also reduce down the size to something like 4 pixels, and you know, probably increase up the choke. So maybe you can set to 4 and 4, and yeah, and that gives us kind of you know, an embossed or not an embossed, but an, you know, depth feeling. All right, pretty good. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and actually right click and choose rasterize layer style. So we have just rasterized it, and I'm gonna come over here, and as you can see, we have these light rays kind of a thing. So what I'm gonna do is let's go ahead and grab ourselves a rectangle. All right, and then just go ahead and create a couple of rectangles like so. Make sure the color is set to white, white. All right, and then we can go and come over here and set the opacity of this to 10%. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to select this. Go to the shape tool. If you want to select the points, press A, and we can select these 2 points, and then we can say this operation will turn a live shape into a regular path. So just say okay, and just move to create some kind of a shape like so. Duplicate it by pressing Ctrl J, and then we can select these two left side ones, and then just make a small one like that. I think we have another one. Yep, there is another one. So we can actually select only this, hold down Shift and Alt and move this over like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and select all these three, press right click and then choose rasterize layers. And also I'm going to merge the layers. So we have this, we need to select this one as well, and then merge layers. Yeah, whoops. Yeah, and then I'm going to place it somewhere over here, and I'm going to go ahead and hold on Alt and create a clipping mask like so, or you can right click and choose create clipping mask, of course. And yeah, and I want to do is I'm press E to get my eraser tool and make sure that my hardness is set to 0, and let's reduce the size of it. And as you can see, it's kind of faded out in the end. So I'm actually going to go and move this over to this side, and then let's just fade this up. So, something like that. And yeah, that's looking pretty good. I like it. So the next one is these buttons. So let's check out what I've done with these buttons. So let's select it. All right. So I think the color is the same color as this one. So but quickly, let's just check that out. So we've got 44B0F1, copy that, and let's select this. And we've got 4 of these over here. And I'm actually going to go select one, go to color overlay, and then paste that 44B0F1. Copy layer style, and then paste layer style. Pretty cool. We can go ahead and press Ctrl G to group all these together. And let's see what layer styles I have added to this. So copy layer style and come over here and then choose paste layer style. So there we go. And let's check this out. So we've got a bevel and emboss, the same settings as the left side one. We've got an inner shadow, 52, size set to 2, 90 degrees angle, a black and white gradient overlay with the angle set to 35, and a simple drop shadow settings as before, and I think that should be pretty good. All right, so now let's quickly finish off these the symbols. So let's actually just copy layer style, and then we can come over here to the triangle and then choose paste layer style. All right, now we need the X, one more thing that we can do is make sure that these are exact in the center. All right, just eyeball it and move it to the center. Pretty good. Now, I actually went ahead and used a icon. So, or you can just use the letter X, or you can, use the text tool and use the letter X. So I'm just gonna go copy this X and then just paste it over here. All right, and yeah, that should be pretty good. All right, that's looking really good. Okay, so now for the PSP logo, what we can actually do is get the logo from the internet, but I actually have one which I got here from Illustrator. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that this is exported as a stroke and not as a filled. So that's one mistake I did when showing you guys, but shouldn't be an issue. So copy these 3 and paste it, and then bring them down. Okay, that's pretty good. And we can go ahead and delete this one. All right, so that's looking pretty good. The next one is to cut off these right side ones. So this is going to be pretty complicated, but let's do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is go up and find this. Okay, this is what we have. Let's put this right on top of everything. It's going to be much easier to navigate. Okay, and as you can see, it's cut off on the all 4 sides. So we want to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to go and hold down Control and click on the thumbnail. Just going to create a selection like so. And then we can come to the bottom and select the base and then just hit delete. All right. So what that's going to do is if I uncheck this, you can see that part is cut off and this is only the thing that we have. All right. Now let's go ahead and make a copy of that by pressing Ctrl J and press Ctrl T, right click and then choose flip horizontal. Okay, and now I'm going to move this over completely to the other side like so, and make sure that, you know, it's aligning perfectly. All right, and then we can select these two, press Ctrl J, and you know, and press Ctrl T and right click and then choose flip vertical. And now we can select these two and bring these down, make sure that they are kind of perfectly aligned, and yes, they are. All right, cool. So let's actually select the one on the bottom, and then let's select the base and then hit delete. Let's do the same thing for this. Select this, Control click to create a selection, come to the bottom, select the base, and then hit delete. Let's do the same thing for this. Select this, hold on, Control click, and then select the base and hit delete. All right, so if I select this one and hit delete, you can see we have kind of lost it, which is exactly what we want. And also we can see some extra stuff which we can quickly go by using the eraser tool, and make sure the hardness is set to 100, reduce the size of the eraser. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure you select the base, press E, and then we can just rub this off. Yeah, and that's pretty good. On this one as well. All right, but for this, what I'm going to do is a little bit different, but we're going to come to that later. So the first thing is, let's fix this one and set the color of this to white. So I'm going to go to style, oh sorry, just go to the color overlay, show effects, color overlay, and set this to like pure white. All right, and then I'm going to go right click and choose rasterize layer. I'm going to set the opacity of this to 20%. We can change the opacity later, and there are a couple of effects, so I'm just going to put that on, paste layer style. Let's check it out. All right, so first one, we have an inner shadow of you know, the overlay set to white, size to 5, and then we have an inner glow. Now the inner glow is a little different. So the blend mode is set to normal, opacity 15, of course. We can, yeah, let's keep it at 15. Well, actually 20 is a good number. And then we have this gradient. So at the start of the gradient, we have a color, which is a dark blue, which is 003162. And on the right also, we want to have the same color. All right, something like so. And on the first one, the opacity is set to 100, the opacity stop, and the last opacity stop is set to 0. All right, and if I increase the opacity, you can see what's happening. All right, and the size is set to 38. Now, actually, we want to select the color overlay and set this to kind of a blue color. Well, not so much blue. We want it to be a slight blue, like so. All right, and that's looking pretty good. Also, we can actually reduce the opacity of this down a bit of the color overlay, actually. Or you know what, actually the opacity of this itself to like 50% or even 40%. Oops, 40%. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we've also added some shadows. So let's see how to do that. The first thing you want to do is, let's set the opacity of this to 100 and the fill opacity to 40. All right. And the color overlay also opacity to 40. Yeah, let's actually set it to 20 and 20. Yeah. Okay, I'm kind of liking that. And also the opacity of this to 70. All right. That should look pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer, make it a clipping mask, and then press B to get the brush tool. Let's select a dark color like so. All right, press B again, and then reduce the size. And then just quickly swipe over onto this. But we don't see anything, and that's because we need to group this by pressing Ctrl G. All right, and you want to make the clipping mask on top of the group like so. And now we should be able to see it. There you go. You can see the color. And yeah, that's looking pretty good. All right, that's pretty interesting. So we have to do the same thing for the right side. So the quickest way is to just select it, not the shadow, the group, of course. So we can copy layer style, select this, and then choose paste layer style, and bam, it's done. Now the color is, green here, of course. So we will have to select this and then choose white. Right. So what I did was I hold down Control, create a selection around this, which becomes, selects that, and then set the color to white, and then make sure you're in the marquee tool, right click, and then choose fill, and then hit enter. And oh yeah, because not enough memory. Okay, what does that mean? Or you can hold on Alt and delete on your keyboard, and you can put that on, and that's looking pretty good. Let's actually group this and make a copy of the the shading. Put that on top, and we can clip that and move this over. Oops, where is that? Yep, and move that over to this side, and yeah, that's looking pretty cool. Now the last one is over here. So for this, I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure that I did something. All right, so let's copy layer style, and that's a gradient. So paste layer style. All right, and as you can see, it's a simple gradient. The color coming from top to bottom, which is 3A DC 8C D7, and this one is 71 C0 FA. Click on OK. And we need this blank thing. So where is that? I'm not quite sure. So let's go ahead and actually select everything. Select only that one and move it over to the bottom. Okay, and now we can select this, which is over here. So hold on Control, click on that, and then select the one the one that we added the gradient to, and hit delete. All right, and then we can select this and delete. So now we have an empty space. Okay, that is looking pretty cool. I think we're actually done, which is really great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select every single thing that we have, except the circle. So press Ctrl G. So we have the entire PSP. I'm going to call this PSP, and then let's see what we do. We are going to go ahead and let's actually add some drop shadow. Oh, there's one more thing that we have to do. We need to add some shading on the bottom and the left and right side. So let's do that. So let's open up. Let's select the base right at the bottom. The base. Press Ctrl G. Let's call this base. Let's create a new layer on top of the group, and then mask that. And let's press I, and then select a dark color, and then with the B, and then let's make this a pretty big color, and then just click here on the sides to add in that effect. All right, let's do the same thing over here. Just click a couple of times, a little bit more towards the bottom. And yes, and also just hold down, and just like that. And then we can reduce the opacity. Did I change the opacity of that? Yeah, so 75%. So you could reduce to 60%, and that should add some kind of a 3D dimension effectiveness. So I'm going to copy this layer style. What I'm going to do is go to the group of the PSP. All right, and then paste layer style. All right, and now as you can see, we've added a little bit more dimension, which is looking pretty good. So the gradient overlay. So we have an inner shadow first. So overlay with the white color, opacity 52, size. We can actually get rid of the inner shadow. We don't even need that. Gradient overlay is a black and white gradient overlay from 90-degree angle. We can set the scale to 100 if you want. 150 actually, and opacity set to 30, and a drop shadow of a super dark blue color, and opacity set to 25, distance is 20, and the size is 40. Pretty good. And that's pretty much it. And the next one is also, do we do anything on the base? No, not much. All right, so the next thing you want to do is, once you have all this selected, you can go ahead and select these two, press Ctrl G. So this is going to be the main final PSP. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy by pressing Ctrl J and press Ctrl E, or you can, right click and then choose merge. So, if you check it out and choose merge group, you can merge it. So I'm going to hide the one. This is a backup. So we have only one final, like an image. And then I'm going to go to filter, noise, and then choose add noise. All right. And as you can see, let's actually zoom in before we add the noise. So let's go to filter, noise, and then choose add noise, and we can choose Gaussian and monochromatic. And as you can see, if we add in 1% noise is what we get. We could probably set this to 1.5, and probably 0.7, I guess, and then hit enter, and that's as this beautiful amount of noise. Looks really grainy, and yeah. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comment sections down below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content and tutorials like this, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So till then, take care and bye-bye.